So here's problem number 2. I should probably factor this, so I'm going to identify all those pieces. So hey, this is the same problem but flipped over. So I got x minus 5 times x plus 2 divided by x plus 1 squared times x plus 5 times x minus 5. Again, the x minus 5s are going to divide out to 1. So I get x plus 2 divided by x plus 1 squared times x plus 5. Where x is not equal to positive 5 because there's going to be a hole there since I was able to factor out the x minus 5s. So now I have asymptotes at x equals -1 and x equals -5. I have an x-intercept at -2, 0, because that's what will make the numerator equal to 0. I have a y-intercept. If I plug in 0 for x, I'm going to get 2 over 1 times 5 is 2/5. And let's see, that whole is going to be at 5 comma 7. 6 squared is 36 times 10. Yep, 7 over 360. And since my numerator has a smaller degree than my denominator, I know that the limit as x goes to infinity on, I'll call this one g of x, is going to be 0, and the limit as x goes to -infinity on g of x is going to be 0, because that denominator is going to get bigger a lot faster than the numerator. So let's start graphing this puppy. And we'll put in the pieces we know, and then we'll add to it in a moment. So asymptote at x equals -1, x equals -5, an x-intercept at -2, a y-intercept at 2/5, and my end behavior asymptote is along here. By the way, in that previous problem, the end behavior still has an asymptote, but the asymptote would be a parabola. I'm not so worried if you can't find that. So now I have to figure out which way do I head along those asymptotes. So let's do the limit as x goes to -5 from the left on g of x. So I'm a little bit more negative than -5. So let's see, -5 plus 2 is going to be negative. I'm going to square it, so that's going to be positive no matter what. More negative, yeah, -5, but more negative than that, plus 5 is going to give me another negative. So that's going to be infinity, because I got -I by negative. The limit, oh, so that one's going up that way. The limit as x goes to -5 from the right on g of x. Let's see, so that's still going to be negative in the numerator. In the denominator, it's positive. I'm adding 5 to something not quite to -5, so that's going to be positive. So that's going to be -infinity, so I know it goes down on this side. The limit as x goes to -1 on the left on g of x. Let's see, -1 plus 2 is going to be positive. Negative, that's going to be squared, so that's always positive. And -1 plus 5 is also going to be positive, so that's going to be infinity. And the limit as x goes to -1 from the right on g of x. Let's see, -1 plus 2 is still positive. The denominator is still positive. So that's also going to be positive infinity. So on this asymptote, it's going up in the same direction on both sides. And I think that's enough to sketch out the graph. I'm not allowed to cross, I don't have any more x-intercepts here, so I can't cross that asymptote. So this piece is going to go like this. This piece I got to cross at the x-intercept, so it's going to look something like that. And this piece, I'm going to do something like that. And that's what the graph is going to look like. We can check that on Desmos if you want, but there you are.